Today's video is brought to you by HelloFresh. With summer in the rearview mirror and busier days ahead, now's the perfect time to save time and money by adding HelloFresh to your dinner routine. We all know home cooked meals are so much better for you, but you don't always have time to pull it off. That's where HelloFresh comes in. Pre-portioned ingredients delivered right to your door. Takes the prep, takes the shopping out of everything you gotta do. It's never been more convenient or simpler to make meals yourself right at home. We're making a pasta recipe, which is one of my favorites. Let's get to cooking. The water's boiling and the pasta is going in. There's always new flavors to explore with an ever-changing menu of 50 weekly recipes to choose from. All you gotta do is pick your meals, pick a delivery date. It's that simple. That is looking good. And just like that, our meal is ready to go. There's a wide variety of different things to choose from, anywhere from vegetarian, family-friendly, quick and easy meals. With HelloFresh, there's something for everyone. HelloFresh has saved us a ton of time here at the house, and if you guys sign up right now, you'll get free breakfast for life. All you have to do is go to HelloFresh.com, use our promo code FREEBOOSTEDBOYS, and you'll get a free breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. That's HelloFresh.com, code FREEBOOSTEDBOYS for breakfast for life. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. As you guys know, we recently pulled out my OG Cummins tow rig, and we are getting this thing fixed up. It blew up about 3 years ago, and it's been sitting back over here ever since. Last week we got the engine pulled out of this thing to see how bad the damage was and to see what actually was causing the rod knock, and come to our surprise, it was the rod knocking really loud. The bearings were completely chewed up, but we wanted to get this thing pulled apart just to make sure there wasn't any more damage or possibly less damage than we thought, so we could make sure we get everything that we needed ordered and on the way and get a game plan to getting this thing back up and running. But ever since, we did push it back over here, and we did pick up some parts for this, and we are ready to start working on it a little bit more. This past weekend, I was over at the Cletus race for the New England 900, and I had an awesome time, but unfortunately, my Crown Vic exploded right as the race began. I don't know how many laps I made it. My car just let go out of nowhere, no warning. Pretty sure it hooked a rod, and I smoked out the entire crowd and the entire track. It was kind of cool, but unfortunately, my race got ended really short. I did hang out for a little bit afterwards though, and I did meet a whole bunch of fans, and while I was over there, I actually met someone that had a complete short block for a 2012 Cummins, the exact year, 6.7, everything we needed. It was used. He said it came out of a good running truck. One of our friends actually drove a merch booth out to that event for me, so I had a truck to bring all of that stuff back, so it kind of worked out for us. And I did take a little bit of a gamble on this engine. It was never taken apart. Like I said, I was just taking this guy's word that it was a low mileage, good running truck when he brought it in and they pulled it apart. So we do have a bottom end for this thing, and I'll show you a couple other reasons why I wanted to go ahead and just get a complete bottom end for this truck to rebuild it and not keep the same block, because we are going to be actually using a different block than what was originally in the truck, and we'll show you guys why real quick. So this is the block that came out of the truck, and I don't think we mentioned this in the last video, but we actually found out that it had been worked on in the past, because this is actually punched 20 over. It's not standard bore anymore, and we figured we could use this if we really need to, but considering it needs a new crankshaft, needs a complete new set of rods, if we also got a block as well that is standard bore, that'll just give us a little bit more meat so we don't have to open this one up that much further. That's kind of why we kept the lookout for just a complete short block, and this one showed up and we were good.
You said it.
If you guys look right over here, this is the new bottom end that we just picked up. Got this one transported back all the way from Connecticut. It has been sitting for some time, and I took a little bit of a gamble on it. I'm trusting that this guy said that she was a good engine. It does turn over, which is a good start. But yeah, it's a little dirty. We already went ahead and pulled some of the accessories off of it. It did have the alternator and the fuel pump, some of those things on there, but he did scratch off one of the tops of the pistons right here. It might be hard to see, but it does say STD on there, which stands for standard size. So that's what we were looking for, is that this was a standard size bore. And if this has a good crankshaft in it, along with a good set of rods, just getting this complete will end up saving us quite a bit than buying a brand new refurbished one or trying to piece together everything individually. So we got this one, and we're gonna go ahead and tear it apart, and hopefully the crankshaft is good, no smushed rods, everything looks great, and we can use this to reassemble everything that we need, get a new engine together for the truck, and stick it back in. All right, Wyatt, we don't need to find any more surprises in here.
Man, I don't predict the future, you know. We'll pull door number 1 off, and hopefully there's no metal in there, but this thing already spins over way better than our engine did. We had like a breaker bar, a cheater bar on our engine. It barely spun over, and this one, nice and easy to spin. So
That's a good sign.
yeah, and that noise you're hearing is just this gear in here. But
That's for the
CP3 pump.
CP3 pump.
Yep.
Think it was a good buy?
Yeah, so far everything's looking really good. We'll get the pan off this thing here and make sure none of the rod bearings are messed up. And the crank is good. And as long as the crank is good, then this will be a really solid purchase, and we can start getting this thing rebuilt.
Hell yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Well, it still had oil in it. Luckily it had just enough to not overflow our pan here. And I don't see any sparkles in there, so that's a good sign. I was wrong. It's gonna overflow the pan. We tilted it a little further.
All right. Y'all are responsible for dumping that. I have no part of this.
That was a close one. Easy does her. And this was after we pumped some out, by the way, folks.
Watch this.
Yeah, step back. That diesel oil, dude. Not even the Dawn dish soap can get that stuff off. All right, guys, we just got the engine put back into the MR2. We're gonna take it for a quick test drive around the yard, make sure the clutch feels good. I still don't have the new fuel pump on there, so we're gonna hook the drill back up and just make sure that the clutch feels all right and everything feels good and it feels like it's shifting good, because we did have that noise in the startup video and the clutch kind of settled itself into place, but I don't think it's a big issue at all. But just want to double check it. We went ahead and got the axles back in this thing, buttoned a couple more things up. We still haven't got the charge pipes on just yet. We still have to see if all that stuff fits, but we're gonna putz around the yard before the rain shows up. Got our variable speed fuel pump.
That poor drill.
Look at that, dude, 60 PSI. We can make a pass like that.
Oh, God.
Well, feels fine. Put it into all 5 gears, check the neutral after 5th. Clutch feels great. So after we get some charge pipes on this sucker, get her on methanol, I think we're just about ready to do some testing. And we also got to fix the door still and the window, because
slight inconvenience.
that has not been fixed ever since it blew off when we were at that last Cletus and Cars. We should get the fuel system stuff here real soon, and we're kind of excited, kind of nervous to play with some methanol, see where we can go from there. I think it's time to see the first 200 mile an hour MR2. We'll see though.
All right.
That's scary to say, but we'll see.
You heard it here first. I think you're wearing the wrong shirt to be making those accusations.
Oh, I don't got the right shirt on for this one. The Rod Killer shirt. It's
Whoa,
just
Lord.
released on the website, by the way. So yeah, maybe
Maybe go change.
I didn't think about that. I'm gonna put a different shirt on. I just won't wear this one at the track and we'll be good. Wyatt brought the Corolla into the shop today because he's doing a little upgrade.
Yep, it is time to make a lot of power in an extremely already uncomfortable car to drive.
Very sketchy car as it is.
Yeah, so what do? You bolt on an extra 200 horsepower.
Yep,
Yay.
bigger turbo.
So yeah, that's what we're doing today. As you guys know, if you watch the videos on this car, we had a lot of back pressure issues that was preventing it from making a lot of power. And I'm gonna chalk that up to this turbo here and it just being too small. So we tried to put the bigger exhaust housing on it. I still think it just wasn't enough flow and we were having a lot of back pressure issues. So
Those Dorito boxes flow a lot of air.
a ton of air, and it just felt super lazy over like 7,500 RPM too, because the back pressure was so high. So we tried it without the exhaust. I'm really ruling it down to the turbo. So we have a new unit here from VS Racing.
So much bigger.
Dude, it's massive.
You gotta show them side by side.
Yeah, I was not expecting it. Like, I should have just known, but in my head I was like, oh, it's not that much bigger.
So what's
It's
this one, a
bigger.
60?
So this is a 6270
6270.
little guy. Spools up great, a lot of fun to drive, but not much for power on the old rotary. And then this Johnny here.
That's quite a bit bigger.
Yeah, so this is 62 and this one is a 76 mil. And it's also a lot bigger exhaust side. So hopefully that will open up the exhaust flow and prevent a bunch of back pressure issues like we've been having. Hopefully make a lot more power, because I'd really love to rev this thing out to like 10,000 RPM, because that's where they're fun, not at 7,000. So that's the goal today. Get that on there. I don't think it's going to require too much modification other than a charge pipe, and should be back on the road.
Yeah, that is quite the upgrade.
Yeah, I don't really know what I've gotten myself into here.
All right, well, I got his new turbo on the Corolla here.
Yes, sir. Big Bertha. Hopefully she's ready to party. I don't know if there's any other issues yet, but should be good to go. So I think all it's left to do is drive it down the road, see how it does.
Go make some boost on this thing.
Yep. It's obviously going to need retuned for the bigger turbo, but I figure for right now, at least give it a shot, see what she does. Go from there on it. Don't mind the blue boot down there, all right? That's going to get fixed. It's what we had, so. But I'm excited to see what this thing will do. Hopefully go back to the dyno at some point, make like 500, 600 horsepower. Be pretty cool.
I like that we have a fire extinguisher now.
Just in case, you never know. Damn rotaries.
Actually isn't too bad. God damn. That thing's pulling up top.
That was only 13 pounds of boost.
Damn.
This thing's gonna be fun, dude. Oh yeah.
That's not like the fastest I've ever felt it in here.
Right, dude. Not bad for like 14, 15 pounds up top.
Yeah, this thing's riding out now.
Oh, yeah. Have to go get the bottom end drivability dialed in, but boy, she gonna rip. That's dope. Got that sidekick tuned up in her now, boy.
Ready for a rematch.
Yep, ready now. Just needed a bigger turbo. That's the answer to everything in life, kids.
While the pink leopard valve cover was short-lived, we also realized that we need our bungs for the catch can, and we just decided it'd be easier to run the old valve cover with the hole in it for the mechanical pump, and Wyatt just went ahead and made a plate to cover that hole on the CNC plasma, and we can just reuse that guy.
Super easy. Let's throw it on there. Get this thing sealed up in the meantime.
Yeah, I know how much you guys love the pink leopard valve cover, but she got one first start, back to the storage it goes. So we got the water to air intercooler mounted up in the MR2 as well, and you can see the height difference from the K20 to the K24. There's that 3/4 inch taller height right there, so we do have to remount the intercooler if we want to make all that work, but it looks like that's all we have to do, and we should be able to reuse the existing charge pipes if we just bring that intercooler up a little bit with everything else, and we should be good to go. We got everything pulled apart. We were just kind of nut and bolt checking it because I did really just slap this thing together to get it running the other night, but we're just going over everything, making sure she's ready to go, and then once we get our final fuel system components in, we can get this thing switched over to methanol and do some testing. The MR2 will be hopefully back up and ripping. We don't blow it up right away as we try to learn the new fuel system, but she's almost there. Well guys, unfortunately, we got the turbo off just to double check it, and we did have some debris go through the exhaust housing. If you look right here, you can see the fins on the turbine wheel are a little beat up. It's not terrible, but it's obviously not what you want to see. It can definitely start to throw the balance of this thing out of whack, and with how much power running through it, and with how fast we're spinning this thing, we don't want to run it like that. So we are going to need to send this Precision Terpsky back over to Precision, and they will get this thing fixed up for us and sent back over and put on the MR2. So we will have a little bit of a delay until this thing is fixed up and sent back to us, but got to do it. All right, the pan is loose. The bolts were really rusty. They're down over here. I had to soak them in PB Blaster. Busted the head off 2 of them, but not bad overall.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna reuse our pan and bolts.
Yeah, this one's a little beat. But let's see what's behind door number 1, man.
Yeah, pull her off.
Less exciting than the other one.
I'm going right to the pickup.
Oh, we're Gucci.
Oh, she's clean.
Dang.
She's clean.
Nice.
Nothing in the pan
Yeah, nothing
to be worried about.
Nothing crazy looking. A little bit of schmoo, probably from sitting outside or whatever. But no bearing looking material.
Looking a lot better than the one that came out of our truck.
Yep. Get it apart and take a look here. But definitely looking a lot better.
Yep, so we'll go ahead, tear it all the way down, get the crank and all the rods out of this thing. But we are looking good. No big chunks of metal. So I just got the pistons and rods pulled out of this thing along with the camshaft over there, and everything is looking great. Looks like we got a pretty decent deal on this guy. Everything's clean, no signs of damage.
Yeah, I think we scored on this one, man. All the bearings and the rods look great. They look damn near new.
And also that crankshaft looks like it has a lot less heat in it.
Yep. There is a difference. So this is a split year. So this is a little bit later block than what we had. So there was also a slight crankshaft change, so I'm told. So I don't know if that was part of it, but this crank is definitely in a lot better shape. This engine spins a lot better than the other one did. That thing was pretty well beat. Trying to reuse that wouldn't have worked very well. So definitely scored with this thing. This is a great foundation to build on, and honestly, we could have put this in the truck how it is and been fine, but
yeah, we probably could have just slapped the head on there, stick it back in, call it a day.
Done. But it's nice. We'll go through it, just make sure it's perfect, and have a brand new engine in this thing for ready to go for a really long life. So pretty solid though.
And then this one also had a different girdle than the other truck, right?
Yeah.
Or a different windage tray.
Exactly. So that's just the whole split year thing. I think it was like 07.5 to 12 was the early style 6.7, and then 12 or 13 and later were the later style. So
yeah, you can see it kind of back over there.
Yeah.
The windage tray that was a little different from ours.
Yep. So these had more of a windage tray style. The older blocks had more of a block stiffener girdle, somewhat set up. It wasn't a real girdle, but kind of similar. So just difference in the split years. Everything between them will interchange perfectly fine, but there's just some slight difference mid-year stuff that they updated on them. So no biggie. It's going to work perfect for what we need.
We're going to pull the crankshaft out as well, just check the main bearings. And
yeah, we'll pull it out. I want to get this block cleaned up, get the tappets out, make sure they're all in good shape, and then we'll probably go ahead and paint this thing, and it's got to go in for machine work anyways, just to be ready to go for our new pistons and just deck the surface and just make this thing 100%. So we'll get her all stripped down, cleaned up, go from there on it.
Good news is we do not have 2 boat anchors.
Yeah.
Only 1.
Yep. Very expensive, heavy boat anchors, but now this one's good to go. So I got the other crankshaft loaded in the boat, so when we go dock it up, it's good to go.
Huck it over.
Yep, but this one's staying in this engine.
So we're gonna go ahead and get the block dropped off at a machine shop for the Cummins, and we have a whole game plan to get the truck back up and running once again. It's a lot of work to get that thing from its spot under the carport in here into the shop, so I want to be sure that we have everything ready to go. We have a ton of parts on the way for the Cummins, and I'm just excited that a lot of you guys are excited to see the OG tow rig come back to life. It has a lot of traction. The videos are doing great, and I'm doing my best to get it fixed as fast as possible, but we also want to make sure that we're doing it right, so I don't want to rush it too bad. Plus, we're working on a ton of other things in between. I've also been busy getting the MR2 back up and running. We're getting the door patched up. We're going to hopefully get this thing back to the track here soon as well. And just as you guys saw, we were messing with Wyatt's Corolla, so we're just juggling a whole bunch of things in between while we get the OG tow rig back up and running. But the next video you see on that thing should hopefully be here pretty soon. Once we get everything back, we will go hard on it, get that thing back up and running, get her dialed, and we have a ton of content coming up for you guys. We're also waiting to hear back on some updates on the Cybertruck. For anyone following along on this thing, I will get you guys an update as soon as I can, but we did run into another issue on that thing, which you guys will find out about once we get a game plan, and I can make a video about that as well. So that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you later.